What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back again with another video. Today we're going to be talking about Bobby McMann. So if you guys are new here, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Join the squad. Love to have you guys here. Sorry for the lack of content. Leading up to the deadline, I was cranking out a bunch of stuff, so I figured I'd give you guys a break from seeing my face in your subscription box. So now I'm back. We're going to be talking a little bit about Bobby McMann, and I also want to kind of go back to the deadline, talk about what the Leafs did and what they didn't do, and how that's going to affect them going into the playoffs. And we're going to see what they do. So I don't want to waste any more time, though. I want to get right into what this video is all about, and that's Bobby McMann. So basically, Bobby McMann signed a 2-year extension with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Well-deserved. This is a great story. Bobby McMann just coming off of like a season where we were kind of wondering if he would be an NHL player next year, if the Leafs would give him a shot, if he was just going to be a really good Marlies player. What was his ceiling? Could he be a trade piece? And he's proven himself through injuries to the team this year that he can step in and make a difference. And he got that with a $1.35 million extension each year. So the AAV is $1.35 million each year. So a nice little bump in pay for a guy that was getting close to league minimum on a contract. So McMann is 27 years old, so I'm the same age as this guy, which is really cool. He has 10 goals and 8 assists for 18 points. So real good for him. He's got 36 penalty minutes, though. He's got to maybe tone that down a bit in 40 games. So he's been doing really well. I mean, the guy's jumped in and done a good job for the Maple Leafs this year, and we'll look at his contract. We'll look at his previous stuff and his points. But like I said, the Leafs have been craving and looking for that secondary scoring, and not just for this year, but for the years coming, because the Leafs are going to have to make some tough decisions. We have Marner and Tavares coming off the books, but obviously you're going to try to re-sign both of them. Now, Tavares probably coming in at a much lower cap hit, and Mitch Marner is going to get an increase. So you have to find guys that are going to fill the bottom of your lineup, and we're going to be looking at that in a second for next season. And Bobby McMann has come in and proven that he can do a little bit of everything that the Leafs need, and it's good to get cheap options like that on the squad for the years coming. So Bobby McMann, like I said, that cap hit currently of damn near bare minimum league min contract, $762,500. It's just really cool to see that this guy just got a contract. He literally went undrafted, which is just wild. Like, he's a pretty damn good hockey player, and then you can see that extension kicking in for him. So you can see throughout even his junior career, when he was a pretty young guy, going into university, going into the Marlies, going into every area he's been in, the ECHL, he's always put up numbers. And what kind of jumped off the page at first, I'm sure, for this organization, is seeing him put up 24 goals in the AHL, being a point per game guy in the ECHL in a brief stint there. Same thing with his other stint, almost a point per game as well. And then coming up, playing 10 games with the Leafs, didn't look the greatest, but then going to the Marlies, putting up almost a point per game, and then now with the Maple Leafs and the Marlies with a brief stint this season as well, he's put up some decent numbers. 18 points in 40 games played, but those 10 goals kind of jump out at you because the Leafs need that secondary scoring touch. And I know that he kind of scored it in bunches, but it just shows that if you give him those minutes, if you give him the opportunity, he's going to give you meaningful minutes, and he's going to pot some goals when you need it. It was even a hat trick included in this. So I'm really excited to see what Bobby McMann can do. I'm not the type to say, oh, he's got 10 goals and look at how he's been scoring and think, yeah, this guy's just a lock to be a great player. I think if he can give you 15 to 20 goals every year, you're totally fine with that $1.5 million that they gave him. 1.35, so less than 1.5 million. Like, if he gives you that 15 to 20 goal production, you're going to be laughing all the way to the bank. It's kind of what I wanted the Leafs to do with David Kampf. I thought that maybe he was going to get in and around that range, but again, Kampf has a little bit more experience and he does a little bit more, so that's what they were trying to see on like the defensive end. They're trying to give him a little bit of a boost in pay there. But what I want to show you guys is next year's cap situation. So that salary cap is going to go up to 87.7. And as you can see, there's a lot of holes, especially on the blue line, on the goaltender position. But what I want to show you guys is likely a few moves that the Maple Leafs are going to be making. Now, I think the Leafs will explore a David Kampf or a Calle Jarnkrok trade in the offseason. I think they're more inclined to trade David Kampf. So what I'm going to do is just for the sake of this video, I'm going to put him on LTIR with Connor Timmins, because I think both of these guys are more than likely not going to be playing with the Maple Leafs next season. And you could see, I don't know why this cap space didn't adjust with Kampf going on LTIR, but regardless, the Leafs are going to have in between $20 to $24 million in cap space to mess around with. And of course, there's a few guys that they're likely going to re-sign. But having a guy like Bobby McMann, who again won't place in the top six, being a guy that can play on that third line to fill out this roster, maybe you'll go to a McMann, Tavares, Jarnkrok line and re-sign Bertuzzi and Domi for next season. That'll take up another probably $7 to $8 million potentially. However they finished this season, they've looked a little bit better as of late. And then you can spend a little bit more on that defense, because you're going to be looking at a guy like Easton Cowan and potentially a Fraser Minton to steal some spots on this team. So you can see like they can mess around with things. Maybe Pontus Holmberg is a guy that comes out of the lineup. Maybe Ryan Reeves is a guy that gets buried in the minors. I have no idea. But the Maple Leafs can get a little bit more creative when you have guys like Bobby McMann and Easton Cowan and potentially Fraser Minton and all these guys that can come up and give you meaningful minutes in that third and fourth line spots. This is where those good young prospects come into play perfectly. You need to have those guys on cheaper deals to fill out the rest of your roster, and especially if they're as talented as a guy like a potentially an Easton Cowan could be for this team, a potential in Fraser Minton, potentially with Bobby McMann, potentially with Matthew Nyes. If you hit on two of those guys and they turn out to be 15 to 20 goal guys, you're laughing. And if the Leafs want to re-sign Nick Robertson to a cheap deal, which I don't know what's going to happen there. I think they might end up trading him eventually, even though he's an RFA. The Leafs even have Nick Robertson if they want to sign him to a cheap deal. So you've got to find those diamonds in the rough and then potentially spend a little bit more, kind of like they did with Bertuzzi, and go out there and get a guy in the $5 to $6 million range to really solidify, okay, we've made an upgrade, but we've got these younger guys coming in that are good added value towards $2 to $3 million worth of value, but they're coming in under $1 million or less than $1.5 million. So you've got to find these guys. You've got to find a way to fill out the roster. You have to find guys like Bobby McMann, your Fraser Mintons, your Easton Cowans, these younger guys that are going to allow you to spend more money in other areas because they're playing a little bit higher than you thought they were going to be, and they're on cheaper deals. So this is a home run. This is a very good deal. Brad Treliving made a fantastic move here. I really like this contract. It's no harm, no foul. This is a good deal. And I think that Bobby McMann deserves this. So I'm excited. Hopefully you guys are as well. You guys are going to be seeing this video probably after I do the Maple Leafs charity skate. So maybe I've seen some of you guys there. I don't know. This, again, I'm going to the future and back here. So if you guys are new here, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Join the squad. I'd love to have you guys here. Sound off in the comments down below about Bobby McMann's new contract. And I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Peace.